This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 355.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Why, hello everybody. This is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. All right, let's get started. Coming up, upcoming events. One thing next week, State of the Word on the 17th of December. Matt Mullenweg will be giving the State of the Word and taking questions live. It'll be streamed on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere else? I'm not sure where else. And you can pay attention to that. It should be interesting. Normally he does that at WordCamp US, but of course no WordCamp, so that's coming up this week. And I think that's it for upcoming events. Yeah, and no other job ops that were sent into me that I heard about. So that's it. All right, moving on. Segment 1 in the news. Couple things here. WordPress 5.6, aka Simone, came out, named after Nina Simone. It's out and about, and a couple of my sites have already updated. I've tested a few things. Some people had some hiccups, but overall, pretty good. The key takeaways here are automatic updates are now available for major WordPress releases as well, not just minors. 2021 is the all-new default theme. It's very much a block-oriented theme. It's a blank canvas for Gutenberg, and there is support for PHP 8 as well. Pretty cool. What else in the news? Oh yeah, also in the news, two more things here. My buddy Dustin Hartzler, he celebrated and hit his 500th episode of his show over at Your Website Engineer, and congratulations to him. Very happy for him. And that's awesome. 500. That's a lot of shows. That's 10 years of the shows. I'm catching up to him. But 355. Yeah, I'm there. I'm right there. Maybe I'll just double up my shows per week and just catch up to them. Anyway, we'll see. All right. And speaking of podcasts, actually, the Get Options podcast is coming back. It's my other show that I co-host with Kyle Maurer. Kyle took a step away, some family leave, and he's coming back for a week or two. We're going to do a show next week, and we're going to do a show again in the new year because of our predictions episodes. And then I'm going to bring in some other guest hosts. We're going to have a rotating some guest hosts for a while because he is busy and doing some other things outside of WordPress per se. So if you have any questions for that, send those in to, I think it's questions@getoptionspodcast.com. We're going to record that next week, about 4 days after this comes out. So, okay. And I think that is it for the news. Yeah, that's it for the news. Okay, moving on to the meat and potatoes. But first, I want to thank our sponsor this week, and that is, of course, Backup Buddy from iThemes. They are the original 3-in-1 WordPress backup plugin to backup, restore, and migrate your WordPress website. Now, in case you didn't know, WordPress doesn't include a way to back up your system built in. So the amazing team over at iThemes created Backup Buddy 10 years ago to solve this problem. It's a solid 10 years of experience. They know what they're doing in this case. Trust me on this. Now, you may feel you have a level of security as your web hosting company also provides backups, but that may not be just enough. What if their server crashes or their server gets hacked? It happens. Trust me, I know from personal experience. Backup Buddy is customizable. It allows you to back up your entire WordPress installation, including your database, all WordPress files, media library files, plugin files, and even the theme files. Are you afraid you'll forget to back up? Not to worry, because you can easily set up backup schedules to run those too automatically. It's awesome. Now, let's not forget that before I was a WordPress guy, I was a photographer. My assets were my images, and I always wanted to have backups, at least 3 to be exact, spread out, off-site, different places. Well, guess what? You can safely store your backup files off-site in Dropbox, Amazon S3, Google Drive, or even Backup Buddy's stash, and that way you will be protected in multiple places. So if you're looking to have an easy to use, solidly built backup solution for your WordPress website, head over to ithemes.com/backup buddy. Use coupon code SINKWP, it's SINKWP, to save 25% of your purchase. And thanks again to iThemes for sponsoring this week's episode. All right, on to the meat and potatoes segment 2. This week, it's the Hodgepodge episode. That's right. I want to take a moment to revisit some topics I talked about over the past year and give an update on a few of those. They don't need an entire episode to themselves, so I just wanted to talk about 4 or 5 things here. So I'm calling the Hodgepodge episode. And I may do this again from time to time, every, 3, 4, 5 months instead of the whole year. We'll see how it goes in 2021. So with that said, where to start? I think we're going to start here with the hacked server, because this one is fresh and still lingering in the air. Because if you recall, a few months ago, back in September, one of my servers was hacked, and I cleaned it up and I moved on to a different server. And for those 16 sites or so, well, I had 4 other sites that were remaining on that other server. And though I thought they were clean, and they were clean, someone else got in. They got back in there somehow, and they added a JavaScript, and it's unfortunate. And what they did, the JavaScript would forward the URL to other URLs, and just kept going over and over again. So in this case, I luckily had a clean backup, and I restored all 4 sites, changed all passwords, all salts, and I think that server has a bigger issue than just my sites. There's 4 left on there. I believe within the first quarter of next year, I will remove that entire server from its existence in my life. I just need to move over 4 more sites out of there. Nothing there is super important. But I found out just because I was looking for a graphic for something else, and I went to the site to get it off of the website, and the site was down. And then I started going down the rabbit hole, and I realized all 4 sites were down. 2 of them were down completely. 2 of them were just being redirected. So that's the hacked server update. So again, as a reminder, and like I said a minute ago in the sponsorship, make sure you have a good, solid, clean backup off-site, not on the server. And pretty interesting thing there as well. So that's the hack server update. It still hasn't gone away completely, but I think it will be out of my life here shortly. But again, it could come back. It's somewhere else. You never know. So make sure you have good backups and a good plan there. All right. The second thing here I want to mention to you in the Hodgepodge episode is surveys, courses, and YouTube Oh My. So regarding that survey I put out a few months back to garner interest in setting up a course about starting an agency, because I was doing that as a kind of a pseudo coach thing, helping some friends out, and they said, you should put this into a course. So the feedback was solid. I want to thank everyone who took part of that feedback, that survey. Feedback was awesome. The price point was a key indicator. What I learned most was this. People want the price to be twofold. Some people wanted to be super inexpensive, and some people wanted to pay more. And this difference between those two were that the lower price point would be for a course that runs on its own, and the higher price point would be a course that they'd access to me, some actually coaching along with the course, more discussion, maybe a weekly check-in. So that's going to be interesting. I am going to work towards having that course done in Q1 for 2021. I think there is an opportunity there for me to help you out and make some another revenue stream. I don't call anything extra money, but I really enjoy doing that. And in the mastermind group, most recently, that came up as well as that is a strength of mine about teaching and educating in courses. So yes, I'm working towards that. I also have another idea that came up to me about a year ago, and I know it's been a year because the domain is up for renewal this next week. Yeah, me, ideas, domains. But I have a rule, if you might recall, that if I don't do something with the domain within 2 years of getting it, I have to let it go. So I mentioned the idea to a few people, and they all thought it was solid. And what is it, and what is it going to be? Well, it's kind of like this. I often feel like an idiot when it comes to certain technology. In this case, Git. I get the idea. I understand the concepts. Branch, fork, commit, but I don't use it a lot. And I really want to know more about it. I want to know more about programming as well. So that being said, I'm going to document my learning of Git over at Gidiot.com. It's Gidiot.com. That's right. I want to learn Git. I want to share how I learn it and maybe make that into a course or some freebie. I don't know exactly how it's going to go. So I might actually even stream it live through Twitch and then take that stuff and redistribute it somewhere. Maybe even over on YouTube. We'll talk about that in a second. Monetization, not so worried about it right now. Maybe it'll be free. Maybe you can donate. Maybe it'll be a Patreon. But you can head over to Gidiot.com now. You can sign up to be on the email list. So when that goes live next quarter, you can kind of follow along with me how I learn Git. So that should be fun. That's another course thing I'm working on as well. And speaking of YouTube, I got an email from them the other day, as I have a KitchensinkWP YouTube channel. Yes, I do. And they wanted to thank me for being a content creator. And so they shared stats. And it got me thinking, because right now the only thing there is this podcast. I send a copy of it to there so people can find me on YouTube as well. But that's all it's over there. It's just these episodes automatically get produced over there, published over there as well. So I want to create more videos, or I want to create videos, not more. I want to create videos. I've talked about this for many years, those deep dive-ish videos, 5, 10, 20 minutes maybe. And yes, that's going to happen as well in 2021. Again, I'm not sure exactly how that'll look. Combination of maybe like a hybrid model of membership, through Kitchen Sink or Patreon. I don't know yet, working that out, but that will be happening in 2021. Okay, and then speaking of 2021, moving on to the next little topic here, my plan for next year. I really, really need to grow my MRR over at my agency, Concierge WP, by at least 2x, maybe 3. And some people say, I want to go for 10. Well, that's nor here nor there. I'm going to go at least 2 to 3 times my monthly revenue, recurring revenue. Now, how I'm going to do this, I'm working right now testing the idea of hiring a VA service to do some lead generation for me. Because I don't have all the time to do all these things. I'm trying to run a company, trying to grow branding, etc. But that does lead me to the fact that I made a new hire recently over at backupspeaker.com. Yep, I have recently hired someone to manage my social media because that project had sadly hasn't gotten any attention for a few months now. Multiple reasons. One of them was a hack, some other client issues, but it's time to re-engage. So the social media will be the primary way to engage that brand. Backup Speaker needs to be in social media, needs to be out there. And so how did the hiring process go? Well, it was really simple. I put together a short description of what I was looking for. I sent it to one person at the moment, and I hired my daughter because she has the skills to do what I need her to do. She was 100% responsible for growing the following of the social media channels up at her college. This past year, it did really well, so I've hired her about 5 to 10 hours a week for the next, 2 months or so, 2-3 months, try it out. And yes, I understand that the audiences that she deals with are different than my audience, but she understands the base experience of what I'm looking for in the tools, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and she'll be using Get Stencil, which is just like Canva. And why not Canva? Well, because I have a lifetime subscription to Get Stencil I bought years ago when it was called something else. They actually changed the name. So that's happening. Those are the little hodgepodge things that I'm working on towards 2021 at the end of this year. The end of this year right now is, kind of ramping down. This episode comes out, the 14th, so 2 weeks left of the year. And so I'm looking forward to 2021. And right now, as far as the agency goes, the first quarter could be very, very good in the sense of projects, websites with clients. In the first 3 months, things are looking really solid right now. So I'm excited about that. All right. Well, I hope that helps kind of clear some things up, what's going on this past year, a little hodgepodge. And if you have any questions that I didn't touch on here that you have memory that I haven't followed up on, let me know. Not a problem. Moving on to segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week's tip is, that's right, my buddy, different Kyle over at the admin bar, he gathered together all of the best free opt-ins for web designers and developers. I'll put a link in the show notes, and I'm on that list. I appreciate that. As far as my my tips and tools of the week, the 101 best. But over there, you'll see like a website launch checklist, done for you email newsletter samples. There's a whole list. 101 WordPress tips and tools ebook that I created a year ago or so. I need to update that as well. And I guess right now he has about 20 things on there right now, which is pretty cool. But theadminbar.com/the best free opt-ins. It's a long URL. I will go ahead and put a link in the show notes to check it out. You sign up, you give your email address, you get a little freebie. It's one of those things. So cool. All right. Well, that is it for this week. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead and send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or you can use the speak pipe function. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon. You can do that on the website. You can sponsor the show. And again, thanks to iThemes and Backup Buddy for doing that this week. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right. Bye-bye.